Picture this. I'm standing there, freezing my ass off in chest waders at the crack of dawn, pushing my beat-up John boat into the glassy lake that's been my backyard therapy for over a decade, when suddenly this self-appointed neighborhood dictator barrels down the pier like she's leading a SWAT team. "Trespasser! Arrest this man for illegal vessel deployment," she screeches, her voice piercing the misty air like a faulty smoke alarm, as a confused sheriff's deputy, clearly dragged out of bed for this nonsense, slaps cuffs on me right on my own damn property. And get this, within the hour, I'd flipped the script so hard that I ended up owning the very marina she coveted as her personal fiefdom, turning her reign of petty terror into a cautionary tale of epic backfire. My name's Alex Rivera, and let me tell you, living in Willow Lake Estates sounded like a dream when my late husband Carlos and I bought our slice of paradise 15 years ago. 12 acres of prime waterfront, full water rights deeded since the dinosaurs roamed, and that serene vibe where the only drama was supposed to be the occasional loon call echoing at sunrise. We'd sip coffee on the dock every morning, his hand in mine, watching the fog lift like a curtain on nature's stage, the pine-scented breeze mixing with his cologne, a sanctuary that got us through his brutal fight with leukemia. After he passed 3 years back, that daily ritual of launching my little aluminum skiff became my anchor, me and our rescue mutt Luna paddling out to cast lines and chase away the grief for a few precious hours. It wasn't luxury, it was survival. But dreams turn to nightmares when power-hungry busybodies get involved. Enter Victoria Hargrove, the HOA president who'd clawed her way to the top 6 months prior, a 58-year-old former HR manager who'd retired after getting the boot for micromanaging her office into mutiny. Think of her as a walking HOA handbook wrapped in faux politeness, always in tailored slacks and blouses that screamed, "I chair meetings," driving her gleaming Lexus like it was a chariot of righteousness. She'd fine you for a lawn that's one shade off community green, or a mailbox tilted by a degree, all while preaching standards that conveniently ignored her own infractions, like the gaudy fountain in her yard that violated every water conservation rule she enforced on the rest of us. I kept my head down at first, paid dues on time, mowed meticulously, even waved politely when she'd cruise by in her golf cart, clipboard in lap, hunting for violations like a shark sniffing blood. But whispers started circulating, anonymous notes in the community newsletter about certain residents letting grief turn them unstable, subtle digs that I knew pointed at me, the quiet widower who fished alone at odd hours. "We must protect our premium ambience," she'd say at meetings, her smile all teeth, as if my solitary boat was a blight on their McMansion utopia. Then the bomb dropped. A certified letter plopped on my doorstep one drizzly afternoon, pink envelope reeking of her discount floral perfume, slapping me with a $750 fine for unauthorized aquatic apparatus storage that compromised visual harmony. I sat at my kitchen table, Luna's head on my knee, rereading it while my coffee went stone cold. My dock, the same rickety wooden platform Carlos and I built by hand, was now deemed communal HOA asset, subject to uniformity protocols. What the hell? This wasn't just petty. It was a land grab disguised as bureaucracy. Her attached memo dripped with sarcasm. "Individual indulgences erode our collective prestige. Mr. Rivera. Your setup poses a aesthetic hazard demanding prompt correction. Prestige, my 12-foot tin can of a boat, older than half the kids in the neighborhood, had been there forever. Neighbors had borrowed it for repairs. Hell, old Mr. Jenkins next door still tipped his hat from his porch every dawn as I launched. But Hargrove's own eyesore? A fake pebble beach she'd trucked in, complete with a concrete barrier that screamed environmental felony. But apparently that was executive exemption. I dialed her that night, figuring reason might prevail. Ms. Hargrove, Alex Rivera over on Shoreline Lane. There's got to be a mix-up with this notice. My deed's crystal clear on water rights. Her response? A frosty chuckle that could chill beer. No mix-up, Mr. Rivera. The board has decreed that fragmented access points dilute property appeal. 30 days to dismantle, or penalties compound. But I own the riparian rights. It's in black and white. HOA covenants supersede when harmony's at stake. Don't waste my time again. Click. Luna tilted her head, mirroring my stunned silence. This woman, hiding behind harmony, was gunning for my last thread of peace, oblivious to the hornet's nest she'd kicked. Little did she know, I'd been quietly noting every inconsistency in her rulebook rants, biding my time like a poker player with aces up his sleeve. The escalation hit like a summer squall. 3 days post-call, a laminated notice appeared stapled, to my front door at dawn, her perfume clinging like a bad omen. Compulsory HOA assembly. Thursday, 7 p.m. Rec Center. Waterfront stakeholders only. Even her paper smelled aggressive. I showed up expecting a gripe session. Instead, the room buzzed with 40-plus neighbors crammed into plastic chairs under buzzing fluorescents, the air thick with stale coffee and tension you could slice. Hargrove perched at a card table like a judge, in a gray pantsuit worth my monthly mortgage, flanked by her minion, nephew Elliot, a jittery attorney in his 40s who fiddled with his cufflinks like they were escape hatches. Fellow residents, she intoned, voice booming off cinderblock walls. We convene to confront a peril to our valuations and liability. Peril? I sat in jeans and a hoodie, wondering if aliens had landed. Mr. Alex Rivera has erected illicit nautical facilities infringing on shared domains, she declared, pointing at me like I was Exhibit A in a kangaroo court. Elliot unfurled a revised survey map, bogus as a $3 bill, claiming my dock jutted 20 feet into HOA waters. Whispers erupted. Chairs creaked as folks craned necks. My gut twisted, but I stayed cool, pulling my original 2008 deed from my backpack. Carlos had drilled into me. Keep the proofs locked and loaded. Amor. With respect. Ms. Hargrove. I rose, laying the docs down with a thud that echoed her pomposity. My survey grants 250 feet of exclusive water frontage. Deed spells out perpetual access. Elliot peered, blanching like he'd swallowed a lemon, murmuring to her. Her veneer cracked just a twitch. Documents age. Mr. Rivera. Community's progress. We safeguard the commons from selfish grabs. Then Mr. Jenkins piped up from the back. Baloney! Alex's dock predates this HOA circus. We used his ramp when the public one flooded last spring. Nods rippled from veterans. Tom from across the cove hollered. Yeah. And he never charged a dime. Hargrove's neck flushed crimson under her pearls. Anecdotes aren't law, she snapped, pitch climbing. His contraption invites lawsuits. One slip. And we're all footing bills. Elliot nodded meekly. Policy voids coverage for unvetted recreations. Fear-mongering at its finest. My flawless dock. 0 incidents in 15 years. Versus her beach erosion nightmare. 15 spotless years. I countered evenly. No gripes till you ascended. Prior laxity bred risks, she retorted. This regime upholds duty. The room simmered. A cough broke the standoff. Resolution, Mr. Rivera. 30 days to raise and relinquish, or litigation ensues. Costs billed. Meeting adjourned in awkward shuffles. Eyes averted. War drums beat. I geared up. Hargrove didn't dawdle on her vendetta. Monday morn. I peeked through curtains to spot a security patrol at my property edge. A pudgy guy in a fresh uniform, clipboard poised, eyeing my dock like it hid nukes. Diesel fumes wafted from his idling truck. Luna growled low. I strolled out in PJs. Lost? Buddy? He spun, and I stifled a laugh. It was her son-in-law, Bradley, the perennial basement dweller she'd employed with HOA bucks. Sir, HOA lakefront surveillance. Your installations flagged for oversight. Oversight? Fresh, no-entry signs dotted my shore. Garish yellow clashing with nature. Bradley, right? When you go pro in security? His cheeks bloomed red. Certified. MS. Hargrove assigned compliance checks. Certified in nepotism. More like, she'd minted a family gig to stalk me. For a week, he'd park at 6 a.m. sharp, blocking my path, scribbling nonsense while I ignored him, launching anyway. But I wasn't idle. Afternoons found me buried in county archives, dust motes dancing in shafts of light, copier whirring as I unearthed gold. Clerk Mabel, a veteran of 30 years, slipped me a folder. Darlin', peek at this. Hargrove's election files, notices mailed slapdash. No certified proofs. Half the hood skipped. Elections null, Mabel winked. She's corner-cut queen. My pulse raced copying it all. This nuked her throne. Meanwhile, Bradley amped his farce, tailing me with tape measures, logging infractions on my lawn. Discoveries. I ambushed him one morn. He yelped, nearly dunking his gear. Just notations. On my turf, signs are trespassing too. He paled. MS. Hargrove said. She says plenty. Legality's optional. But Hargrove wove a web. Coffee clatches for newbies. Sowing seeds about my fragile state post-loss. Questioning a lone widower's lake privileges. Rumors stung, old pals dodged gazes on walks. Friday's mail. Attorney threat. 2 weeks to demolish or enforce. At my table, docs piled high. I smirked. Her blitz exposed her fraud. Game shift incoming. Hargrove's curveball landed Tuesday. Voices drifted over water as I tinkered on the dock. She paraded to Lakeside Marina with entourage, Elliot fidgeting. Bradley clipboard clutching. Unknowns in tow. Luna's hackles rose. Air crisp with pine and portent. Later, Marina hand Joey. Bradley's reluctant kin snuck over. Twitchy. She dangled $60K at owner Hank for exclusive HOA launches. My mug paused mid-sip. Exclusive. Members-only club. Hank's tempted upgrades needed. Sly as sin. Monopolize the alternate ramp. Isolate me. Amp neighbor nerves. But hubris bit back. Joey mentioned Hank's tax woes. Property delinquent. Auction bound. I phoned pal Lena. Sharp realty lawyer. Viable? Hell yes. County's eager to offload. I bid anonymously, snagging it for $45K, pocket change for peace. Transfer day. Bradley appeared. HOA contests this. Hank chuckled. Too late, kid. Fair sale. Bradley puffed. Mr. Rivera's disrupting order. This escalates sabotage. I quipped. Tell Hargrove her monopoly's moot. I own the keys now. Afternoon inferno. Hargrove clicked down the pier in crimson blazer. Elliot trailing. Fraudulent grab, she barked, jabbing air. Aunt Vicky. Private chat. Nothing private in theft. Sun glinted off her dew as she ranted. This circumvents authority. Overturned by week's end. Luck with that, I grinned. Counties thrilled on taxes. Purple rage bloomed. Saturday. She soloed in casual couture. Alex. Truce. Hammer paused. Shoot. Perfume cloyed with lake scents. Waive fines. Secure your rights. Share marina schedule. Surface suite. But trust zero. And Hank's payout? Twitch. Misread vote. I mulled. Weekend ponder. Unbeknownst. She taped covertly, plotting edits to paint me extortionist. But Elliot leaked to Lena. She's crossing lines. Backfire. At board meet. Her chop job played. Mr. Jenkins called bluff. Tampered. Taught forensics in Nam. Edits scream. Hargrove blanched. Unqualified. War vet knows fakes. She doubled down digitally. Sock puppets late guardian. And worried neighbor spewed on FB my erratic grief. Safety risks. Poison spread. Stares at stores. But Tom traced IPs to her router. Amateur hour. Wednesday. Bradley Foe inspected marina. Compliance audit. Not inspector. Brad. Crumble. MS. Hargrove said. No jurisdiction. Retreat. Defense over. Offensive launch. Thursday's crisis summit drip drama. Red-bordered invites screamed urgency. I arrived early. Lot jammed. Even reporter Mia scribbling. Room packed 60 deep. Air humming with Java and carpet funk. Hargrove throned up front in navy armor. Elliot and cronies aside. Citizens, she boomed. Peril looms. Safety. Worth. Ethos assailed. Finger at me. Mr. Rivera wages war via bullying. Machinations. Blackmail. Murmurs. I sat serene. Marina heist hostages access. Elliot shuffled docs nervously. Proof. Threats taped. Her mangled audio rolled. Crowd eyed suspiciously. My cue. Rose with folder. Silence absolute. Tick-tock. Gut rumble. HVAC drone. Compelling fiction. Victoria. I strolled front. Slapping 1995 covenant down. Access perpetual for owners. HOA nil on waters. Crack widened. Election sham. Botched notices. Elliot paled. Whispered. Jaw set. Cherry. 60K emergency slush for bribes. Non-emergent. Gasps. Board agog. Not. She sputtered. Recording? Full cut. Mine played pristine. Exposing hacks. Mia snapped pics. Enter Commissioner Elena. Deputy in tow, boot thuds slice chatter. Hargrove. Auction meddling. Fund misuse. Serve. Cease desist. Face kaleidoscope. Elliot bolted. Plot. She wailed. Crowd flipped. Shakes. Shame. Dethroned by folly. Fallout zipped. Monday resignation. Conspiracy screed. Bradley fled town. Elliot back to desks. Marina reborn. Hank profit shared. Beaming. First boss who gives a damn. Joey promoted. Survived soap. Scored gig. Restored free access per covenant. Laughs. Motors. Splashes revived. Values soared 18% in months. Agent. Access Goldmine. Crown Jewel. Carlos Rivera Youth Angling Initiative Saturdays buzz with 30 kids. Worm wiggling to eco lessons. Sunscreen whiffs. Queries fly. Fish nap? Luna fish 2. Dog star. Petted amid first catch whoops. Free gear. Cleaning ethics. County ties teach stewardship. Mr. Jenkins yarns history. Voices weave respect. New board slashed fines 75%. Transparent funds. Chats replaced curtains. Lena's biz boomed. Your docfu topples tyrants. Evenings. Contests. BBQs. Bonds. I fish dawn with Luna. Joined by pals. Water mirrors unity. Chat Carlos. Kids hooked. Friends forged. Marina lauded tourism-wise. But true win learning. Links. Solidarity over strife. But here's the kicker. Was Hargrove the real villain? Or just a symptom of HOA systems that breed mini-despots? Drop your take. Right or wrong to dismantle her empire? Or should petty powers always get checked?